Vasuki Tal is a beautiful mystical glacial lake situated at an altitude of about 14,200 feet. The distance to and from Kedarnath is about 16 kilometers. The trek consists of a climb to 15,000 feet and then a 800 feet descent to the lake. Majestic and towering Himalayan peaks surround this lake to form an inexplicable divine ambience. Vasuki Tal is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. It is believed that Lord Vishnu did penance at this lake in the Satya Yuga. Since then, thousands of yogis have meditated and done penance on its banks. This lake is surrounded by hundreds of Brahmakamal flowers. These divine flowers are offered at the Kedarnath shrine every day. October 10, 2019, my nephews and I set off early morning from Kedarnath.
The three of us, along with two helpers, one porter and perhaps a guide, we are going to Vasuki Tal, a sacred lake up in the mountains. It's about an 8-10 kilometer trek depending on the weather conditions. So here we are, all the three of us. It's really cold right now. It's probably below 0 degrees centigrade. It's probably 25-26 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, so with all excitement, energy, enthusiasm, we are beginning the journey. We'll see how it goes.
We are going to go up that mountain.
First, there's an intense climb up this hill. So that's going to take a while to go up there. And then there's a trek down into the valley. So we just come up halfway, not even halfway up the hill. I mean, we got a long way to go. Little bit, we had to cross a stream and my nephew stepped into the water. So water went into his shoes. Freezing cold water. So he's going to wear wet socks back. So you see, there's always something happening. And look at that divine temple there. Oh my gosh. With the lights still on. I always can't get over how it stands majestically over all the other constructions around. The sun is beginning to tip the edge of that peak there, the golden peak. Vasuki Tal is a mystical lake where Lord Vishnu did tapas, penance, and he bathed in that lake during the penance. And then Shiva blessed him. And so the story goes, the Purana goes. So the symbolism of all of this is there are healing properties in these waters. I would think that's how I interpret them. And therefore, and again, they are also portals of that opens to different dimensions. These are different energy systems here. If one is tuned into it, one would understand what I'm trying to explain. It's very difficult to put these things in words because there is no logical reasoning mind. I can explain, what do you mean portal? What do you mean other dimension? But if you're used to it, if you experience that, then it becomes more easy to understand. I don't know if the camera can capture. There are some pilgrims going up there to pick flowers for their worship. And so we are heading slowly as the day is beginning. We are heading west. Sun is right behind us on the east. Look at that golden peak as the sun begins to light up the mountain. Beautiful. It's probably 20 degrees now, Fahrenheit. It's really, really cold. We are waiting for the sun to come up. The helicopters have begun their business of bringing pilgrims already. It's a little past 6, so the temple is also opening up so that people can go and offer their prayers. It took us a little less than half an hour to be in line with this water tank here in the valley. There's a miniature hydroelectric project going on between this and the houses down there. Temple and Shiva is very much in our sight, in our minds, in our hearts, as we undertake this beautiful journey in search of that mystical lake up in those mountains, behind that mountain there, down in the valley. So the path here, as you can see, is just like any other trekking path that we have done so far. Nothing out of the ordinary, zigzagging our way up the mountain. Kind of a rough trail. Nevertheless, it's been all packed with stones because the temple priests and devotees there come here to pick the Brahma Kamal, the sacred mystic flower, for the worship. So for centuries that has been going on. So this is kind of a known trail. It's not like you're doing something very unique, and the path itself is not as intense as Rudranath, or for that matter where we went behind Maheshwar, at least for now. Let's see how it turns out as we go further up the hill. To give you perspective, 45 minutes of hiking up the hill, a couple of thousand feet above the temple. You can see all the pilgrims and devotees like little ants hovering around the suite, all hovering around the temple. Sitting here and watching the temple in solitude is just so beautiful, so breathtaking. You're so far away from the temple and yet so close to Shiva. We come up one turn, we come across yet another beautiful waterfall. Joining the Mandakini river below. Om Hram Mitraya Namaha. Om Hrim Rave Namaha. Om Hrum Suryaya Namaha. Om Hrim Bhanave Namaha. Om Hram Khagaya Namaha. Om Raha Pushne Namaha. Om Hram Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Hrim Marichaye Namaha. Om Hrum Adityaya Namaha. Om Hrim Savitre Namaha. Om Hrum Arkaya Namaha. Om Raha Bhaskaraya Namaha. The sun has come out, peeping out, gently spreading his warmth. And look at the top of those mountains. Beautiful, beautiful. Almost instantly, it's become warm. So time to remove some layers right away. So these are little kind of ferny, cactusy kind of plants. And these are, the fragrance is amazing. And so what they do in the temple downstairs is you plug these and then they dry them and then they apply ghee or clarified butter to it, mix it, and then they offer it as an incense to the deity. It kind of cleans atmosphere as well. I'm going to try this. I'm going to take some of it on my way back, and back home I'll dry it and see if it works. Kedarnath incense. The smell, the smell is astounding. So he's the guru who tells me about this. So it's fantastic. It's kind of got a lemony kind of a flavor, citrusy flavor to it. And so I can't wait to see how it will smell as incense when mixed with ghee. What an interesting concept. How they use nature and everything that's naturally grown, locally grown, to offer it to the deity downstairs. So that's how it's all done. Interesting. We're 90 minutes into the trek. We're about 3,000 feet, I think, above the temple. Close to that. At least. Way above those helicopters. Much higher than the Chorabari. I'll never get it right. That we tried to trek yesterday. Almost there. The top of that little stream there. Again, you can see these beautiful flora here. Little berry plants. And then over here are friends again, the rhododendrons. So many of them again growing in this valley. They look lovely in the spring with those huge flowers. That is why in the scriptures they say Shiva likes these flowers, because no wonder in all these ancient Shiva temples you have these growing all over the place. I don't know what this is. This is also has a beautiful kind of lemony smell. Very fragrant leaves. I'm sure the flowers also will be very fragrant and beautiful. We have come up on top of this hill. And look at that, another beautiful valley opens up in front of us. We're not done yet. We have to go up that hill where you can see some people walking. So we have quite a distance to cover. Yeah, but this is a nice grassy patch. We're going to stop for a bit, relax, enjoy the sun. What a beautiful resting area is this. Place to meditate. All around you is just cliffs, mountains. How beautiful. Bam bam bole! After a short break, we are heading out. That seems to be a steeper hill. And also, we are getting altitude, so that should be about 13,500 to 14,000 feet, close to that, I would think. And look at those snow-capped mountains and the Shiva consciousness that is so abundant here. I'm reminded of this beautiful bhajan. Hara Hara Shankara Samba Sada Shiva Isha Mahesha Tandava Priyakara Chandrakala Isha Mahesha Ambasuta Lambodharavaldita Isha Mahesha Vindhya Himachala Shringanivasita Isha Mahesha. Hara Hara Shankara Samba Sada Shiva Isha Mahesha Saisha Mahesha. The yogic body is so hot and so warm. The only place he could reside is in these icy mountains. What a beautiful concept, and what a joy it is to be a believer. Om Namah Shivaya Nama Om Hara Hara Haraya Nama Om Shiva Shiva Shivaya Nama Om Jai Sai Ishwaraya Nama Om Chandrasekharaya Nama Om Gangadharaya Nama Om. How very beautiful. Oh my God. When you scale a mountain, you experience the strength of the mountain, the gravity of the mountain, the mysteries of the mountain, the mysticism of the rocks, the history that it holds. It seems like you're connecting deep within the bowels of the earth, because from within the earth these have come up. The connection feels so grounded and yet so high. It's an amazing confluence of an extreme floating sensation, and at the same time being so grounded, so stable, so still within. What a beautiful experience this is. And when you mentally chant mantras, the sound vibrations adds to the intensity of this trek, and it becomes a spiritual pilgrimage. There are a couple of youngsters going up there to the mystic lake Vasuki Tal. We have to climb that hill. I'm waiting for my nephews to join me somewhere down on the slope. Nama Madhura Shubha Mangalakari Alaka Niranjana Trishuladhari Daya karo, daya karo, daya karo, Bhola Bhandari, daya karo, Shiva Gangadhari, daya karo, Shiva He Tripurari, daya karo, Shiva Gangadhari. You see now, if I look down from this, the temple is hidden behind this peak. So from down you could see that, you couldn't see the peak behind. But then you can see that little pathway 2 kilometers away, the base camp that was set up during the rescue efforts, still called the base camp. And then you see the rest of the track going down, trekking the path going all the way down to Gaurikund. Little helicopters now, saying little, they seem so tiny from here, taking off and landing. So you can't see the temple is behind that hill. Like I said, the path is narrow, but it's doable. It's just the altitude that's beginning to get to us. The cold winds. So you tend to get a little breathless. But other than that, it's as beautiful as ever. As enchanting a trek as ever. So if you're a trekking enthusiast, if you want to explore divinity, nature, don't miss the trek to Vasuki Tal. Vasuki is the serpent on which Vishnu lies on. It's also called Sheshanag, of course. Vasuki is also the serpent which is around Shiva's neck. The serpent concept plays a very important role. It's a symbolic, mystical, hidden, tantric version of the Kundalini that lies dormant. When Vishnu lies on top of that sleeping serpent, that means when the serpent arises, then Vishnu is awakened within us. Shiva holds the serpent around his neck. The neck represents the fifth chakra, the space element, beyond which there is just divinity, the third eye. And therefore Shiva controls the ascent of the Kundalini, the ascent of the cobra, the ascent of the snake, serpentine power, if you will. All these are symbolic. There's no mystical snake lying within us. Snake is certainly nothing to do with evil. Just because you're afraid of snake doesn't mean it's evil. It's one of the most beautiful creatures, and I love snakes. So Vasuki is Tal, the lake is dedicated to this name of the snake, Vasuki. Around Shiva's neck, around Vishnu's, not around Vishnu, but on which Vishnu sleeps, it becomes a Sheshanag, on which Vishnu sleeps. So this is a lake where Lord Vishnu did penance. So hidden in these crater-like secret valleys are these mystical lakes, just naturally formed, nothing mysterious about it. Glacial lakes, sweetwater lakes, freshwater lakes, around which mystical flowers and beautiful gardens bloom in the spring. Hopefully we'll find our Brahma Kamal there as well. If I do, then I'll pick it up for the puja tomorrow. Now before we lose this beautiful view, and before the clouds come and take over in the afternoon, because I don't know what will happen on my return. Now the thing is clear, so I want to draw attention to that brownish patch down there. So think of what happened in 2013. That huge glacier that is being fed from the ice, Chorabhari glacier. I don't know what's with me and that name. So it was there, the whole thing. Look at the way it is actually, it's kind of formed a highway. It's like somebody has bulldozed that whole way down the valley. So imagine a cloud burst happening somewhere in this huge cloud filled with moisture, just burst on top of that lake which was there, and then the glacier itself, and the whole thing melts down the valley. So how it's kind of wiped off the whole landscape of that, all the greenery and all of that, everything is gone. It just gives me shivers to think of the enormous power of nature, and what and how it could have happened, and how terrible that disaster it would have been, especially when you didn't predict that. Look at that huge, it's like somebody is planning a highway up in the mountains. So I've been staring at it ever since, and I wanted to get a good height. But now I see clouds moving in from there, and I decided, you know what, before this beautiful view gets hidden, I might as well soak it in the mountains. I wish I could take this picture in my heart. This is so amazing. How did the Pandavas, how did those yogis find this treasure, this powerful? There is a temple. Look at that. I'm standing on top of a hill right there. Look at that. In that valley, in that particular place, and that under that particular rock, and that temple is in perfect longitude with other Shiva temples all the way to the south of India. That's the magic in it. It's an exact same longitude as the other temples, including the Chidambaram temple, if I'm right. I'll try and do that research and get it in the post editing if I can, that information as well. How does one identify that? I mean, what was the access to, what kind of information was available, and how would the access tap into this dimension? That's why I keep saying it's a different dimension. There is a parallel dimension right here with us, in us, within us, outside of us. And I believe yoga and meditation helps us tap into that dimension, albeit occasionally, but with practice and with purification of the mind and freeing it from its conditions of good and bad and evil and sin and or merit and all of that. And freeing the mind opens it up. The doors to these dimensions open up. That's my belief. That's my experience. Jai Bholenath. Okay, so we are officially at this peak. And look around us. What do you see? A nice little path that curves around and goes there. So probably that starts descending to the lake. There is some kind of depression here as well. So it's likely that there could be some water body here as well during the spring. You see, it's my belief that anywhere there is a presence of water, there is a great spiritual energy. And energy, when I say spiritual energy, don't take it in any religious sense. I'm talking of a different source of energy that feeds through our consciousness and energizes the mind and the body. Right? We know the sun as a source of energy. We know food as a source of energy. We know all of this. This is known to us in science. Water is also a source of energy. But just the presence of water, seeing it through the eyes or touching it with your hands, allowing water to touch your skin, the sense of touch when it experiences water, the sense of sight when it sees water. There is a subtle inflow of energy, a subtle exchange between the water element. You don't have to necessarily only drink water to get the benefit. And in spiritual terms, when we talk of this evolution of consciousness, where we are hoping to experience dimensions or realities beyond senses, beyond what the senses can perceive, beyond what my eyes can see, beyond what my ears can hear, beyond the frequency of sound, beyond the light waves, frequency of light waves, beyond the sense of smell, beyond the sense of touch. Is there anything out there or in here, right? To me, that path opens up when we meditate upon a water body. That is why crystals are products of snow and ice and water, are very powerful mediums to open into that dimension, to allow your mind to suddenly open. Well, let me put it this way. Let me correct myself. Not allow your mind, but allow you to transcend your mind, because your mind is limited with information from senses. Don't expect your mind to go there. Mind cannot go there. Adi Shankara says the mind has to become a swan to go there. That is why in his sloka, pratas marami hridi samsuradatma tattvam satchit sukam paramahamsa gatim turiyam. He says paramahamsa, become the swan and fly to that fourth dimension, the dimension where you can perceive all of the other dimensions. To me, water is that powerful element, very powerful element, as much as fire is too. But water has that magic of taking you to that stillness. And I'm standing here as I'm talking. This must have been some water body. I can feel a sense of deep peace. You can see this. So when the snow melts, it must form a huge water body here. And to me, I could sit here and spend a whole day completely lost in nothing, no thinking. You don't have to go anywhere, just be. That's the magic and the beauty of these kind of places. When you come, you don't have to practice, quote unquote, practice meditation. You are in a state of meditation. You are in a state of acute mindfulness. You are in a state of transcendental consciousness, if you will, where the little things in life don't matter anymore. Somehow kind of becomes small. And you yourself become small when you see the nature around you. You're like, gosh, why am I so bothered with me and I and what I want in life? And what is reality? What is out there? That is a kind of opening that the mind cannot go there because the senses cannot take you there. And therefore, these places tend to open up that dimension, Turiya Avastha. The swan within takes over. In terms of Kundalini and yoga practice, the fifth chakra, you go beyond the fifth chakra. Above the fifth chakra, the mind ceases to exist and it becomes a swan. Look at this beautiful mossy texture. It's so soft. Look at that. The feel of the ground. Oh my gosh. It's like Mother Nature's damp, wet, calling you into its bosom. Har Har Mahadev! Look at all of them celebrating on top of the rock. Taking a moment. The clouds are moving in from the east fast, and it's soon going to get clouded, as it always does every afternoon. And we might be in the thick of clouds here, as we are near the lake. But we have been there, done that before in this trek, so that's not bothering me. I'm just enjoying this moment as it is right now. Beautiful. Grassy patches in this temporarily abandoned crater-like depression. Little bit of snow from last night maybe, so we're kind of entering into this snowy, little snow here and there. Nothing much, just maybe a couple of inches of snow. Alright, let's see what lies ahead of us as we trek down into that, and then hopefully there is that valley. You get a glimpse of the mystical lake. So from the water body over there, from the highest point in that cliff, we have trekked this far, and I'm holding my breath because this is what I'm seeing right now. So I put on the camera. I don't know what's behind this. Could I spot the lake? I don't know. Look at this moment. I just want to take this moment of such beauty and grandeur right now at this point. I can feel so much energy and vibrations. Oh gosh. I know you guys can think I'm crazy and skip this whole video. I don't care. I'm just sharing what I'm experiencing at this moment. It does seem to be opening into a valley surrounded by these rocks. Let me see what beauty it holds. It's truly like a 5-year-old in a Disneyland. Look at those places. There must be some small caves I'm going to explore. And I'm sure there is a trek taking us down somewhere. Or we have to go behind us, I'm not sure. Wait for the others to join while I enjoy this serene, powerful moment here. Nandivahana Nagabharana Balalochana Paramashiva Nandivahana Nagabharana Balalochana Paramashiva Paramashiva, Paramashiva, Balalochana, Paramashiva, Pavana Charana, Sai Mahesha, Nataraja He Tripurari. The path is going there. We're not done yet. It is over that hill. Jaya He, Jaya He, Shambho. As expected, the sun has gone behind the clouds. We have to go to that hill and go down. But we are going to look into clouds now. See, look at that. It might pass through again. Hopefully it's just passing clouds. But this is how fast things change. Within 10 minutes, I was singing the bhajan down there. And then I took about 10 minutes to come up here. And everything has changed. It's become cold. Look at that. Again, no... Well, visibility is still good for now. If that clouds, all of that clouds had come towards us, very soon this place will be filled. And within an hour or so, it will pass away. So, that's what happened last evening, the day before yesterday. So we're hoping that's how it'll be today. I'm going to wait here and wait for my nephews to catch up while I admire the silence and the serenity of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful and most powerful and amazing place. Namo Namo Nataraj Namo Har Jatha Juthadar Shambho Namo Namo Nataraja Pavan Brahmachari Danava Madha Samhari Partipuri Vihari Parama Dayagana Shauri Namo Namo Nataraja Namo Namo Nataraja Namo Namo Nataraja Namo Namo Nataraja. So now my nephews have caught up and we are hugging this hill now. And look at that. We have one more climb right up to that little peak there. You can see silhouettes of people who just passed us and they are already there. So next stop, up there. That is how mystically enchanting this trip is. So it's not much of a climb, it's like just gentle.
This mountain keeps going on and on.
Look at this huge rock. Oh my gosh. The energy here is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I know if you're watching this video, if you're still, you must be thinking this guy is crazy, and I am. I accept. I don't mind. I just love this. This is amazing. Fantastic. Vasuki Tal is just round the corner. Look at that. Right there. And we are going there in a bit.
This is so crazy.
Is that the lake? I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going right now. Oh my God. So serene and so calm and so beautiful. Look at this. Another valley. That's probably the lake, I would think. Or maybe it's further down. I don't know. Let's see. covered completely by, or maybe it's beyond this. I have no idea. I have to wait for. Kahan hai Tal? Aage hai? Oh, we have to go past. So you see a path there. You have to go past that. It just keeps going on and on. Fun. All right. Let me find my way. आप आगे जाइए. हमको पता नहीं कहाँ जाना है यहाँ से. Letting the porter guides away. So one has to watch the steps as you trek this path. Pardon me for my running nose. It's so cold here. Let's see. Oh, I got a glimpse. There. Down there. Oh, yes. It's way down. Way down. Way down. I thought we were supposed to go there, but no. Look at that. That's why you need a guide. So down there is that beautiful lake revealing itself in all its glory. Okay, let's see. I can keep the camera tuned there while I look for my footsteps here. Watch my feet. There.
Wow.
Bam bam bole! So having climbed about 15,000 or close to 15,000, maybe 15,000, I'm not sure of all these heights, but somewhere close to that, because you over there, now you're actually descending down into the valley about 1,000 feet at least. So if Vasuki Tal is at 14,200 feet, as that's what the internet says, then we did trek up to 15,000 up there. That's what made part of a trek a little difficult, breathing and stuff like that. So now we are finding our way, hugging around this hill and going all the way down. So another kilometer or so to go. Not there yet. So, but that brief glimpse of the lake was amazing. If the sky was clear, it would have been crystal blue in color. Look at that. It is clearing up, but I'm not going to hold my breath. The fact that we are able to trek down to this lake itself is a gift, and I'm so grateful. Look at that. The lake slowly comes into view, and such a serene, beautiful lake, just like Satopant in Badrinath. There is this beauty of this lake. Oh my goodness. It's still so far down, but look at that. So beautiful, so beautiful. Why do we have to come here and leave right away? Oh my God. It's blue because it is reflecting the sky. Excitement builds. So in the interests of battery, I'm going to conserve this, and then let's see when we get a little more closer. But as you can see, the path just zigzagging its way down to that beautiful, beautiful lake. The first of such lakes was Kedarnath, that we trekked to beyond Gangotri 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, around the same time frame. And it's strange that 10 years later I get this call to visit these places, and Badrinath, I visit Satopant Lake, and then here is Vasuki Tal, dedicated to the serpent power, serpent energy. Oh my God. So grateful to have been able to be here, to be able to record this, and I'm hoping and praying all of this stays intact with me till I go back home and I'm able to edit it for your viewing pleasure. Nestled in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful valley.
Enthralled by the serenity of the lake and the beautiful Brahma Kamals growing around, I spent the next couple of hours in ecstasy, doing pradakshina or circumambulating the lake, stopping at several spots to absorb its powerful energies. This trek to Vasuki Tal was truly a divine one and a very memorable spiritual experience.
Shivoham. 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 Shivoham.
Please consider subscribing to our channel on YouTube, the KYG channel, so you stay tuned to fresh yoga and spiritual content from KYG. Thank you for watching. Enrich your practice, empower your mind, enlighten your spirit. Namaste.
Kaivalya